Welcome kids to today's class. Today's class is going to be a fun-filled class. So now, please, you get your writing materials so that we can be set and go on. Our topic for today is Jesus teaching on God's kingdom. I repeat, Jesus teaching of God's kingdom. I hope you're ready for today's class. Our Bible references Mark chapter 4 verse 3 to 20. That is Mark chapter 4 verses 3 to 20. But you may ask, what is a kingdom? Oh, I don't know the meaning of a kingdom. Don't worry, honey. I got you all covered. A kingdom is a country or region ruled by a king or queen. Now, a particular area or a country ruled by a king or queen is called a kingdom. For example, we have the Oba of Benin ruling the Benin kingdom, and we have the Queen of England who is ruling England. While Jesus was on earth, he told a story to explain the meaning of God's kingdom. Now, he entitled that story The Parable of the Sower, or the story of the sower. But before we go straight to the story, we have to know the meaning of the word sower. Who is a sower? A sower is one that sows seeds or the plant seeds. That means a sower is a person that plants, what we popularly know as a farmer. So a sower and a farmer, they both means the same thing. Now let's move over to the story. I know you can't wait to hear it, and I can't wait to tell you. One day, a man went to sow his seeds in his farm. So while he was sowing, he was spraying the seeds. Some fell along a pathway, and some others fell on the rocky ground, while some fell in the bush, and some others fell on the good soil, the fine soil and the best soil ever to plant. Now, what happened to these various seeds? Did they all do well? Let us find out. I know you are eager to know. As for the seeds that fell along the pathway, the birds of the heaven came and ate them up. Oh, what a wasted labor. What will happen to those seeds? Will they grow? Of course not, because they are already in the bird's tummy. They ate them as food. And will they grow in the bird's tummy? Of course not. What about those that fell on rocky ground? Did they grow? No, they couldn't. At first, of course, they started growing, but later on, they dried up. Now you may wonder why. This is because the soil is not good for planting. Imagine planting on a rocky ground. Will it grow? Of course not, it wouldn't grow. Or if at all it does grow, after some time they have to dry up, as you can see, and they will die. So that was what happened to those seeds. The seeds that fell on the bush, they couldn't grow because of the thorns you find there. You know that those thorns are strong and hard, so they overpowered the seeds, and the seeds didn't grow. So they died. Now we are going over to the final set of grain or seeds that the farmer planted. Remember, the last set of seeds the farmer planted fell on the good soil. What happened to the soil, to the seeds rather? The seeds, they grew, and they were so fine and green. And while after growing, they produced and had lots of grains, even more than what the farmer or the sower initially planted. What is the meaning of the story? Why is Jesus telling us about farming, the sower, and the seeds he planted? Well, each has what they represent. Now, we're going to talk about the seed, the pathway, the thorns, what they all mean, and the good soil. The seed is the word of God. While Jesus was on earth, he went from place to place teaching others about God's word. The pathway and the rocky ground means those that did not receive God's word. When Jesus and others were telling them or preaching to them, they paid deaf ears. They were not interested. It was boring to them and they did not receive it. As for the thorns, it means the material things Satan the devil uses to deceive us from God. These may include wealth and others. As for the good soil, it means those that receive Jesus and obey God's word. And when they heard about God, they changed all their ways and obey Him. I know you want to be like them. So now we're going to stop here for today and we'll see you some other time. Bye.